To add a view to the action, we can just right-click the index action and click Add View. And here we can leave it named as index. We don't want any model for now. And make sure Create as Partial View is not checked. You can leave this checked, use a layout page. We don't have any layout page yet, but you can leave this checked because we will add a layout page a little later. So let's just click Add. And here is our index view. And if I go to Solution Explorer, you can see we now also have a folder called Views, and inside of it we have another folder called Countries, and here is the index view. So the first thing we need to do here is to import the model, because that has all the data that we need. And since we are passing into this view a list of country DTO objects, we need to add that to the model as IEnumerable. So our model will be IEnumerable of type book API project, not the book GUI, because we don't have any models there. All the models are in the API itself. So we'll import book API project dot, and here are all the options available, and since we want the country DTO, that resides in a DTO's namespace, so we'll import that, and then dot, and here are all the DTO classes in the API project, and one of them here is the country DTO. So now we have access to the country DTO object as IEnumerable or as collection. And we are ready to start creating the structure of our web page. And that's just a basic HTML. I'll start with a div and a header. So the header, I'll change it to H2 so it's not so big. And it can simply say list of countries. And I'll wrap that all in a div. The whole thing will be one big div. I'll put a break after the header, so BR. And after that, we simply display all the countries from the model. And to do that, we'll simply loop through them. So we will use a for each loop, so we'll use the add, because we are going to razor syntax. So we'll do a for each. And it's a typical for each that you did many times. And we are looping in model, and notice that it's a capital M, not lowercase. And here we can display each country in a paragraph. So I'll display a paragraph tag, and maybe I can use a strong to display the country as bold, and now I will display the country itself. And to do that, again, we go to razor syntax with add, and we are looping through model. So our item has all the properties from the model now, and you can see we have the ID and the name, and we want the name. Another thing I want to do is to display the error message, if there is any, from the view bag. And I can display it above everything, so before the div I will do an h2 tag, and here I can display the view bag. If the view bag doesn't have anything in the message property, then it will be blank, there will be nothing there. And this is our basic view. But we can prepare it for the future. Now, we'll list each country, but we will also want to have a link next to each country that will lead to the detail page of that country. Since we are using .NET Core 2.2, we are going to use Tag Helper. In previous version of Asp MVCs, we used HTML helpers, but with .NET Core, it is a standard to use tag helpers instead. But before we can use tag helpers, we need to tell ASP.NET Core that we want to actually use them. And there's a particular way to add tag helpers into a project. So I'll show you how to do that next.